The Cash Landrum incident was a UFO sighting in the United States in 1980, which witnesses claimed was responsible for causing health and property damage. On the evening of December 29, 1980, Betty Cash, Vicki Landrum, and Vicki's 7-year-old grandson Colby Landrum were driving home to Dayton, Texas, in Cash's Oldsmobile Cutlass after dining out. While driving on an isolated 2-lane road in dense woods, they saw a light above some trees, and that they first thought it was an airplane approaching Houston Intercontinental Airport, about 35 miles (56 kilometers) away, and gave it little notice. A few minutes later, on the winding roads, they saw what they believed to be the same light as before, but thought it was now much closer and brighter. They said that it came from a huge diamond-shaped object, which hovered at about treetop level, and that its base was expelling flame and emitting significant heat. Landrum told Cash to stop the car, fearing they would be burned if they got closer. A born-again Christian, she interpreted the object as a sign of the second coming of Jesus Christ, telling Colby, "That's Jesus. He will not hurt us." Cash said she was anxious and considered turning the car around, but abandoned this idea because the road was too narrow, and she presumed the car would get stuck on the dirt shoulders, which were soft from that evening's rains. Cash and Landrum said that they got out of the car to examine the object, but that Colby was terrified, and so Landrum said she quickly returned to the car to comfort him. Cash remained outside, mesmerized by the bizarre sight. The object, intensely bright and a dull metallic silver, was shaped like a huge upright diamond, about the size of the Dayton Water Tower, with its top and bottom cut off so that they were flat rather than pointed. Small blue lights ringed the center, and periodically over the next few minutes, flames shot out of the bottom, flaring outward, creating the effect of a large cone. Every time the fire dissipated, the UFO floated a few feet downwards toward the road. But when the flames blasted out again, the object rose about the same distance. They said the heat was strong enough to make the car's metal body painful to the touch. Cash said she had to use her coat to protect her hand from being burned by the door handle when she finally got back in the car. When she touched the dashboard, Landrum claimed her hand pressed into the softened vinyl, leaving an imprint that was evident weeks later. Investigators cited it as proof of their account. They said that the object then ascended over the treetops and rose higher in the sky, and then a group of helicopters approached it, surrounding it in tight formation. Cash and Landrum counted 23 helicopters, and later identified some of them as tandem-rotor Boeing CH-47 Chinooks used by military forces worldwide. With the road now clear, Cash says she drove on, claiming to see glimpses of the object and the helicopters receding into the distance. From first sighting the object to its departure, they said the encounter lasted about 20 minutes. Based on descriptions given in John F. Schuessler's book about the incident, it appears that they were southbound on Texas State Highway when they claimed to have seen the object. The initial location of the reported object, based on the same descriptions, was just south of Inland Road. The witnesses claimed that after the UFO and helicopters left, Cash took the Landrums home, then retired for the evening. That night, they reportedly all experienced similar symptoms, though Cash to a greater degree. The claim was that they suffered from nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, generalized weakness, a burning sensation in their eyes, and feeling as though they were suffering from sunburn. Over the next few days, Cash said her symptoms worsened, with many large, painful blisters forming on her skin. When taken to a hospital emergency room on January 3, 1981, Clark writes, Cash could not walk and had lost large patches of skin and clumps of hair. She was released after 12 days, though her condition was not much better, and she later returned to the hospital for another 15 days. In a 1985 HBO documentary, Cash claimed she was treated for cancer after being exposed to the radioactive UFO. The Landrums' health was somewhat better, though reportedly both suffered from lingering weakness, skin sores, and hair loss. Cash later developed breast cancer and Landrum severe cataracts. A radiologist who examined the witnesses' medical records for MUFON wrote, "We have strong evidence that these patients have suffered secondary damage to ionizing radiation." It is also possible that there was an infrared component as well. However, Brad Sparks contends that, although the symptoms were somewhat similar to those caused by ionizing radiation, the rapidity of onset was only consistent with a massive dose that would have meant certain death in a few days. Since all of the victims lived for years after the incident, Sparks suggests the cause of the symptoms was some kind of chemical contamination, presumably by an aerosol. Cash died on December 29, 1998, 18 years after her claimed close encounter. Landrum died on September 12, 2007. To this day, there is no conclusive explanation of the night's events. What do you think happened? Please leave a comment below this video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.